I've never been to Radio City. Haven't done a lot of stuff, so it's great. And then also on Sunday, just to be a small part of this huge thing. I can't believe they invited me.
And then Friday night, I went to the Saturday Night Live 50 years of music, all this wide variety of music and stuff that they've had over the years and all these amazing performers, which, of course, I'm going to forget some people. I meant to look up all the fucking names so I wouldn't do this. But anyway, it was just an incredible night. Trying to think of, trying to put this whole weekend together. All right, obviously, right out of the gate, the post-Nirvana, which was Post Malone fronting Nirvana with all surviving members, including Pat Smear. They absolutely fucking destroyed.
And I forget just why I taste it makes me smile. I find it hard, it's hard to find a way, whatever never climb.
And it was right in front of me. I was like 30 feet away from it. And, what's funny is I played, I've played along to Smelled Like Teen Spirit, and to actually just watch Dave Grohl play that fucking song, I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my God. I knew I sucked, but Jesus, look at that guy. And the thing about him is if you watch his performance this weekend and you go back 30-something years to when he first played that song on SNL, his energy has not dropped off at all. He hasn't lost a fucking step. Remember that guy that played cornerback for the Redskins, Darryl Green? He played all the way into his 40s, and he was still the fastest guy in the NFL. It's like that. Still the same. He didn't look all a lot of those guys, when you play like that, after a while, you get shoulder problems, you get carpal tunnel, your back's fucked up. Dude, that guy, I don't know if he went to the day spa or what, but he looked the exact same. Fucking killing it. Fucking killing it. Post Malone sounded great. And then I feel like their bass player, Chris, dude, that guy's fucking hilarious. I don't know. I can't figure out. There's so many people that pretend they don't give a fuck. That guy just does not give a fuck in a really good way. First of all, he went bald like a shoe salesman. He never shaved the whole thing to try to make it look like, maybe he knows some jujitsu. He didn't. He went bald like fucking Bob Newhart as a rock star. Doesn't give a fuck. Gets into politics, does all that, comes back, smashes that show. Nonchalant, I guess I'll be a fucking rock star again. Fucking kills it. The song ends, and he just hands his bass to someone in the crowd and walks off stage during the applause. Dude, Miles Davis would be like, God damn. Speaking of which, Miles Davis, kind of the first punk rocker. He used to turn his back to the fucking crowd, and everybody's like, what the fuck? He's like, what do you mean, what the fuck? I'm listening to the band. All right? You don't matter. Right? You sit here and what I'm doing, I'm talking to these guys. Stop interrupting, and you get to enjoy this conversation. That was his whole fucking vibe. As a black dude, I don't know if you noticed, he was a black dude his whole life. I don't know why I needed to make that point, but he was doing it in front of those older white generations that expected you to be as a black performer, to feel just, thrilled to death that you got to perform in front of a bunch of white people. He's like, no, fuck you. You should be thrilled. I'm the one doing the fucking show, you asshole. Reason number 9,776 to fucking love Miles Davis. Anyway, who else? Bonnie Raitt. She's just a real deal. She fucking killed. On my stage was the post Nirvana thing, Mumford and Son, You can't tell me that lead singer of Mumford & Son and Tim Tebow are not related, okay? Not to start that shit again. What else? Devo was on that stage. Dude, Cher came out and fucking murdered it, wearing the same fucking outfit she wore way back in the day and still looking great. Unexpected. And she went on like second to last in front of Jack White, who had the, that's one of those things, like you don't headline that show, you just go on last, one of those things, and it's just a thankless fucking job that you have to go on after all of that incredible, like, people just crushing it. And, what was I going to say? And he went out and just fucking destroyed, did the Neil Young Rockin' in a Free World, and then played with that. Boom, boom, go, 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 which is the first time I've ever seen him play it live, even though I've heard it 50 million times at every sporting event I went to. Bad Bunny I saw, who I loved, who for some reason I thought was a DJ. I had no idea. I'm fucking old. Miley Cyrus killed it.
I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours.
The whole I know I'm forgetting people. The whole fucking the whole show. And then last night I went to the SNL 50 years celebration, and I got to sit in the crowd, and I had no pressure, and I just got to watch all of these people that I was such a huge, huge fan of. And as far as like my like sort of comedy undergrad and college degree, it started with Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo and all of those guys. It went into the Dennis Miller, John Lovitz, Phil Hartman, Kevin Nealon, all of those guys, Jan Hooks, all of them, into the Sandler one, with Chris, David Spade, Chris Farley, Chris Rock. And then by then I was doing like stand-up, and so I missed a lot of the Will Ferrell stuff, but I would always just hear about it, and I would do my best, but I was just always working when they were on. So I got to see a lot of people that I couldn't, like I was watching Eddie Murphy doing a sketch. I couldn't believe it. Oh, by the way, Tracy Morgan singing Astronaut Jones was one of my favorite parts of the music one.
Hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rocket. I'm taking a rocket. I'm packing my suitcase.
And then there was this woman that came out. Oh, God, I'm going to forget her name. I don't even know what style of music. She had the biggest fucking voice, just filling up. I've been meaning to look up her name again and to download her shit. Whatever, I'm old. Anyway. So I went there last night, and it's literally like Paul Simon opens, and he was on the first episode ever.
I sang this song with George Harrison on Saturday Night Live in 1976.
I was not born then, and neither were my parents.
It's Paul Simon. And then Steve Martin does the monologue. I know you guys probably saw this. Sandler, who just has a fucking heart of gold, sang this incredible song in the middle, got a standing ovation. I got to see Eddie Murphy do a sketch with Will Ferrell. Oh, God, I'm going to forget. Dude, Meryl Streep crushed. I had no idea she was that funny. She was fucking hilarious with Kate McKinnon. They were killing it. The whole thing. And then it ends, and Lil Wayne killed with the Roots. And then it closes out with Paul McCartney, who what he played on that show was what he played for the encore the night I saw him. And, what was funny was I was sitting in the crowd, and I got to sit next to Eddie Vedder, who got to be one of the nicest, sweetest human beings I've ever met in my life. What a fucking sweetheart of a guy. And I got to tell him that story, going like, oh man, when you guys came out, like I hated you guys. You knocked all my metal bands off the top 10. And he was fucking cracking up. I go, do you know how long it took me to begrudgingly admit how great your band is? He was just cool about it. He was just, I was like, well, I'm glad you came around or whatever. And he was actually asking like what metal bands I listened to and shit. We got to talk baseball, but oh my God, what a fucking sweetheart of a guy. Super, super nice guy. And I got to meet Bonnie Raitt really quickly. And that was like my two big like rock star freakouts. I had like Bonnie Raitt was sitting in front of me, and then Eddie Vedder was on the side, and it was just like, it was fucking wild. I couldn't believe I was there. I'll be honest with you. I could not fucking believe I was there. And it went by in like 2 seconds. It really was like a perfect show. Robert De Niro came out and did a fucking sketch, and Debbie Downer. Yeah, I've forgotten more of the legendary shit than I can remember. It was a perfect night. Fucking Keith Richards was there. I stood up. I was like, oh my God. Fucking Keith Richards. It was, you had a Rolling Stone and a Beatle there. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was unfucking believable.
There are so many famous hosts and musical guests here tonight that some huge names actually have to watch from Studio 8G next door, as well as from the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Oh, you went to the parties. Okay.
See, I've been up, I've been down.